John FAHLTEICH from Fraunhofer in Germany. It's our pleasure to be on the advisory board of this nice project, which is called FlexFunction2Sustain. So the second open innovation testbed, we have then a third one afterwards in the nanopharmaceuticals field. But these two, so FlexFunction2Sustain and next-gen microfluidics, have been funded in the exactly same core topic, which even is more successful than we could estimate normally. Super. John, it's my pleasure to hand over the floor to you. As said, I will pop up as a camera 2 minutes before the time is over. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Basically, I cannot see your camera, so hopefully it will work anyway. But I will present the FlexFunction2Sustain project, or basically open innovation testbed today. I hope you can hear me and see my screen well, because it's something I really don't have control here. The FlexFunction2Sustain project, first, thank you very much for inviting me to speak about this today. FlexFunction2Sustain is a little bit different topic. So we are talking about plastic waste and plastic and paper surfaces. I will show you a little bit more detail what does it mean. But at first I want to add a few words to what Martin has said before about an OITB and about innovation. I want to emphasize one important comment that Martin made, and this is that innovation is not having nice invention and not having ideas. It is transforming these ideas into economic success. So it's making products out of ideas, it's making product out of inventions, and this is what an open innovation testbed is about. We test whether an idea or an invention is possibly successful or can be successful in the market, is suited for the market, is suited for economic success. And an open innovation testbed is, in that sense, for the SME customer, for those having an idea, a supplier of innovation boosting services, from technical also to business services. And the single entry point has the major role to be some kind of general contractor, some kind of sole contact for the customer and organizing all actions with the OITB members in the project that a customer would like to have. Yeah, we are dealing with some things like this. This is some plastic waste on a beach, and the FlexFunction2Sustain OITB has the job to bring innovations to the market that help to reduce the plastic waste and that help to get the plastic and paper industry ready for the digital age. Yeah. And we do this by offering nano-functionalization of novel plastic and paper surfaces. Why? The main aspect is when you look at the plastic waste in the world, or at least in Europe, you will find that 500,000 tons of plastic waste are released to the ocean every year. 25 million tons of plastic waste generated in Europe, and the vast majority of this is coming from packaging. Yeah, so packaging products, food packaging and non-food packaging, shampoo packaging, and all these things, they are the majority of plastic waste, and there's a lot of movement in the moment in a direction to get rid of this plastic waste. And one strategy is to introduce new materials. New materials are like biodegradable materials, or when it comes to recycling, to address system designs where you replace composite materials. For example, a simple coffee package. The coffee package is made of the laminate of PE and aluminum, and this is neither degradable nor recyclable. And what we do is to try to replace it by monomaterial laminates or by biodegradable plastics. And they have a big issue. They have two big issues. The first thing is they do not have sufficient functional properties. And when we look for packaging, it's basically gas permeability. Yeah, as a first thing, it's compatibility to food contact and such things. And the second thing is you can address these functional properties with vacuum technologies, with nano modification, with nano coatings on the surface. But then for this, you need a certain dimensional stability in processing. And this is the second big issue. Yeah, so these two things absolutely require innovations in the field to get such materials to penetrate the market and to get them ready for the application in packaging industry. So what do? We then work with these novel materials, with these polymer webs, biopolymer webs in roll form. Usually you will be able to get them. We work with paper and we work with polymer membranes and offer technical facilities, and combine technical facilities that help to give these materials certain properties. These properties can be a conductivity or electronic properties, for example, for smart systems or for smart sensors. It is advanced optics. It can be antimicrobial or antiviral surfaces, which is really a really recent and hot topic at the moment. Of course, the gas permeability and so on. And an open innovation testbed like ours has the combined suppliers or partners that deliver technical services from the design phase. Yeah. Design in terms of material and product designs, like to replace a laminate. Yeah, what materials can we use and how should the stack design look like, to a development step from lab to fab until piloting and even pilot production and transfer to production at the customer side. On the other hand, this is usually the typical customer of us is an SME. An SME, they are known to have not the biggest budget in the world usually. This is the reason why an open innovation testbed also needs to offer support on the business level. Support on the business level is access to customers. Someone's trying to call me. It's access to customers and networks, but also access to finance, yeah, research funds, but also investors directly, business education, and support in standardization, food packaging. Packaging in general is really a highly standardized and highly regulated market, and that is something we need to respect and address in our system. So then, who are the partners? In the FlexFunction2Sustain open innovation ecosystem, we have initially a set of about 13 suppliers in the OITB that range from scientific, or I would say, scientific applied research institutes like Aristotle University, Fraunhofer, INL, through also Joanneum, to pilot producers. Amcor, for example, OET are pilot producers for certain type of products. Amcor for packaging film, OET, they aim for piloting of printed electronic products based on plastic substrates. We have some business developers in the consortium. Amiras, Genifo, it's a German company that do SME consulting, but also we have IP consulting and IP dedicated services in our OITB. We have certain networks, and in the end, we form a holistic service supply, a holistic group of people from very different orientation from the technical to the business level. We have 6 industrial use cases in our project. So these use cases, I really named the word project here because they demonstrate that our technical facilities and our ideas are ready for products in the market. And so they are part of the project consortium. I will explain them a little bit later. And we have a list of potential clients that will be attracted now in the next year that basically give us some pilot projects. It is the same what Martin also told about these demo cases, about these open calls, not the demo cases in the project, but these demo cases attracted through the open calls. There are certain advisory boards are established here to get information from investors, to invite investors, to help them or to help to address our services that the SME that we want to have as a customer later on get easy access to money and to finance. Yeah, so this is really an important aspect. Also advisory boards in terms of regulation standardization. But much more important than that, or equally important, I would say, is what technical facilities we offer. And basically, we can say that we have in our OITB all major relevant nano surface modification techniques that can be done in roll-to-roll on plastic web and on paper substrate. Yeah, it's roll-to-roll vacuum coating, sputtering, evaporation. This is typically done in food packaging industry at very high speed. We have atmospheric pressure coating, printing, lamination, surface treatment, like slot die coating, like also gravure printing, and so on. Joanneum is a strong partner in our project, bringing in micro and nanostructuring, nano imprinted lithography and roll-to-roll here. And we have definitely also printed electronic pilot lines on sheets and on roll material, so we can make completely within the FlexFunction2Sustain consortium, or would say OITB, we can offer completely organic solar cells, we can offer OLED, we can offer printed electronic products, and include piloting on this as well. Yeah, this is one aspect. Of course, if we consider products like food packaging based on biopolymers, we need to start at the polymer itself. And so compounding of polymers, film extrusion is a part of our services. And on the other hand, also the end-of-life evaluation, the end-of-life treatment, recycling tests, biodegradability tests are an aspect that are very relevant and offered through the OITB. This is basically accompanied with characterization and quality control aspects. Here we have a link to physical. We have a lot of characterization methodology for physical and chemical property. They are the base for all, but definitely they are only one very small part of the story. Then in the end, we are talking about the regulated application and certification for this application. So this is like we collaborate with the TÜV Austria, that we are placing ourselves as certified test laboratories for food pack, for the biodegradability testing. It's our partner IPC in France, the Plastics Research Institute in France, and also for food packaging. This is basically one of the Fraunhofer institutes, and INL, where we do the food contact certification, or at least we do the testing and the measurements needed to get the declaration of conformity for food contact. Nano safety, again, a big important role here. We also involve BioNanoNet and Andreas for this, and we have also the functional performance evaluation. That's clear. So how is the industrial use scenarios? We test whether our facilities are ready for real products with 6 different industrial partners, and one of the big players is Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble, they have that trouble that they are always on top 3 in the most plastic waste companies in the world. Yeah, so Greenpeace is always announcing them as one of the big dirty players here, and they have now the idea or have the wish to create products, packaging products, here in our case for shampoo, that are really marine degradable, that are degradable in the ocean. And this is the strongest specification that you ever can have for a biodegradable material. Yes, so this is one thing that we try to address here in the project phase. Still, we have recyclable monopolymer drink pouches. Probably a lot of you know Capri-Sun, and Capri-Sun, they use an aluminum PE laminate at the moment, and the PE monomaterial product or polypropylene monomaterial product is what we target in the development here. Yeah, paper-based food, fresh food packaging. We're also looking a little bit another application, car dashboards, here for the sake of having products that are really reliable for long term and that are reliable under harsh climate conditions like 85 degrees Celsius, and 85% relative humidity is really a big issue here. Water filter membranes is another aspect. Switchable membranes, for example, virus testing, coronavirus testing. This is something that is with I3 membranes, because they have a membrane that you can switch on with an electrical voltage. Then it accumulates organic molecules with a certain charge, and the virus is more than a charged organic nanoparticle. And then you can basically increase the sensitivity of testing. Yeah, Hochfolien, good collaboration partner, Neon here, working on biodegradable labels. So how does it work? When an SME comes to an open innovation test bed and wants to have innovation services, it will find at first a contact in the single entry point company. The single entry point company is organizing everything for the customer, which means that it also helps a Greek small and medium enterprise, a Greek small company, to access services from Germany or access services from Portugal without speaking German and without speaking the Portuguese language. This is really important, because this is one of the big hurdles, absent from any technical things. This is really one of the big hurdles that play a role for SME in the innovation process. We basically have experts that assemble, experts from the OITB members that assemble the right innovation project for the customer. and the SEP will do, the single entry point company will all do all the management and all the process tracking. Yeah. And there's another aspect that really plays a role, that we do pilot production and we involve research institutes. Sometimes this is an aspect that can lead to difficulties in liability and warranty. And here a single entry point company really is someone that can help to reduce the risk for the customers. Investors,
John?
of course, are included. Yeah, I'm already on
1 more minute.
Yeah.
1 more minute.
Yeah, the last thing. Basically, I want here a customer, an example customer project. So how does it work? The customer can come with a simple question. Is a novel biopolymer suited for food packaging? And we assemble an innovation process for him. And this innovation process is done step by step with milestones so that the customer basically don't need to take care for all the details, don't need to find the right suppliers, and so on. This is an idea. And finally, really the important message is similar to next-gen microfluidics. We will launch competitive calls, open calls for pre-commercial pilot projects. So if you have a question like this, is my novel biopolymer formulation suited for food packaging? You can come to us in December 21 and apply for our open calls, where you basically receive discounted or free services from the OITB. This is what is basically the idea behind. There will be 2 calls in 2021 and 2022. This is just mark your calendar. And that's all I want to say for you at the moment. And I want to say thank you for your attention and give the floor and moderation back to Andreas.
Thank you very much, John. That was very comprehensive. And of course, it's always good that you can offer upcoming calls where others can contribute and, of course, can get some additional support for their activities they do have.